Hi everyone, it is Dr. LeTa Gisela, and I'm here to give the third presentation of the Prime My Body leadership training that we had in Akumal in Mexico. And yeah, let's just dive in. So glad you're here. This is the outline, and this is actually the last of the trainings of the three. The outline is hemp oil training, amateur versus professional, how to set up your business as a professional, skills to win, and art of recruiting. And these things are fleshed out a little bit more in the presentation. But as I've done the other two times, I want us to say together the Prime My Body mission statement. You become what you believe. Prime My Body is a health, wellness, and lifestyle company that embraces the movement to raise awareness on the importance of living a clean and healthy lifestyle. What you put in and on your body matters. What we accept into our lives, both through our mind and body, has a direct impact on our overall wellness. Our goals is to join our affiliates and customers on their wellness journey to help educate and empower them about better living and how they can become an example for others to follow. Yay! So glad we're here and that you're part of the tribe. Okay, so one of the things I mentioned in the last training was about education. Then you will feel more confident, more secure. Do you have to be a cannabis expert? No. In fact, you don't want to be. But hearing my presentation a few times is super beneficial, especially understanding why CBG is important right now, what it's used for, etc. Understanding entourage. So, as you can see from the slide, there is a lot to cover. So what I decided to do is to make it a separate training. It's going to be technically training number 4, although I probably won't call it that. I'm just going to call it Hemp Oil Training Fundamentals. So look for that in a few days, but let's continue this. Okay, so JT, lead marketer of Prime My Body, talked about amateur versus professional as a mindset. And I want to spend a little bit of time on this because I actually think it was important. When he was, starting to describe it, I wasn't sure what he was trying to say. But as you get into it, you realize, an amateur starts a business with the mindset of dipping their toe in, see if it works for them or not. Most of amateurs will give it less than a year. Some will give it less than 3 months. Now, a professional will start a business with the mindset of, I will do it until it works. It doesn't matter if it takes a few months or a few years because they're still making money, but it doesn't matter to them either way. My spiritual teacher taught me this. The distinction of being all in. Do you want to just dip your toe in the relationship and see if it's going to work? It's actually only going to work if you have 2 feet in. So that distinction has been really great. Now, an amateur, and again, if these words aren't resonating with you, amateur and professional, we could also call them part-time, full-time maybe. I mean, there's a lot of ways to change that name. But for this training, he did use amateur versus professional. So an amateur lives in a world of blame, excuses, denial. The professional lives in a world of accountability, ownership, responsibility. Amateurs are 90% of the population, otherwise known as the masses, and professionals are in or will be in the top 10% of the population. Amateurs have a get-rich-quick mindset. They have no intention of studying, putting in the hours required, and getting good at their craft. Let me ask you this. How comfortable would you feel going to see a doctor who hasn't read a single book on medicine? I know, it's crazy. So the professional trains and works their own personal development every day. Like they read books, they listen to audios, they attend trainings, consume courses. Amateurs have learned and hold on to limiting beliefs. So this can include this limiting belief that they can't start a business because they don't have the right background, they don't have the right education, they don't have the right parents, etc. Now, professionals, they work on and they hold on to empowering beliefs. They truly believe they can find a way to become successful. They believe they're in the right industry at the right time with the right products and the right company. So you're going to notice that amateurs make your life 10 times harder. You do not look forward to taking their calls. When you do talk with them, you find them emotionally draining and they're not fun to be around. Now, professionals are great to be around. They make your life 10 times easier. You really look forward to speaking with them and training with them. It's fun and enjoyable. These are the people we want to attract. So amateurs sometimes, honestly, I feel like they only focus on money. I mean, there's nothing wrong with focusing on money. I mean, most people start a business because of the financial gains. Obviously, I mean, I have two. It's great to get to go for money, but it can't just be about money, because if money doesn't come on early enough in what you're doing, then you don't stick with it. So professionals, it's a little bit different. They love making money. They just have more reasons on why they're doing this business than just money. So they know that this type of business genuinely improves people's lives, including themselves, and they are making a positive difference in the world. And they're just getting wealthy in the process. Now, amateurs, they see the monthly cost of a network marketing business as an expense, and it causes them frustration. Now, professionals see that monthly cost as an investment and are focusing on how to become profitable and then make that monthly cost irrelevant. Now, with Prime My Body, as of March 1st, it's only $89 for one bottle as a requirement, and which is nothing. Amateurs do not attend trainings that are put on by the companies, as they would prefer to do other things. Now, professionals, they attend all the trainings, or as many as they can. They know that it doesn't just benefit them, it benefits the entire organization, because they're leading by example and they're taking their business seriously. Amateurs have a scarcity mindset. They make excuses, like there aren't enough people, or people aren't interested in it, or the products are too expensive. But professionals have an abundance mindset. They know that there are millions and millions of people in this country, like 400 million. They know they have access to all the training, people, resources, everything they need to become successful. Now, the amateur thinks in problems. So when they talk to you, all they hear is why they can't do this and why they can't do that, and if people will only do this and people will only do that. And the professional thinks in solutions. They know that there is a solution to every single problem. They are aware of the problem, but they quickly ask themselves, how can I solve this problem? Amateurs let fear stop them. I mean, we all share fears: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, fear of what people will think of us, and even fear of success. But the big difference is that amateurs let fear stop them, and they make excuses as to why they didn't do what needed to be done. And professionals act in spite of fear. They have all the same fears, but the only difference is that they fear what their life would be like if they don't take required action. So the fear of staying where they are is greater than what needs to be done, and that's huge. Let me give you a few more distinctions. So amateurs let thoughts control them. We all have fears, we all have doubts running through our heads, sometimes, all the time. But the difference is these amateurs let these thoughts get out of control and control them. But the professional understands that thoughts need managing. It's perfectly normal to have positive and negative thoughts. However, the professional manages their thoughts and remains in control of them. I see that amateurs give up. When things get tough, they realize they're not making, instant money or achieving their rank. They realize it actually takes a lot of work to get any real value. They choose to give up. And professionals, they never give up. They understand that 90% of the people are not prepared to do the day-to-day things. Professionals understand that the amateurs will come and go, and that business is a marathon, not a sprint, especially when you check back with them in a couple of years when you're financially free. So you have to decide, My question for you is, what side will you play the game on? Because the choice is yours. All right. So, how do you set up your business as a professional? Letter A, legally. Are you using your social security number? Do you have a business with a tax ID? Are you an S Corp, LLC, sole proprietor? So this is something that you should talk with your CPA about in order to prepare for taxes. This technically is a home-based business, so there's a bunch of write-offs you can do. Keeping receipts. Are you using a receipt software? I know Evernote tracks. There's a lot of software, or even taking pictures with your phone to keep track of receipts. Are you using QuickBooks? Are you logging with a CPA or a financial planner? There is a really good book. Dave Ramsey is a financial expert. He has a bunch of books. So if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about financial education, I definitely recommend him. And what is the best way for you to set up this business? That's going to be individual to you. So I would make sure that you do take some time at some point and set this business up in the way that works for you personally, depending on your financial situation and financial portfolio. The quote here is, to change the world, change your bank account. I love that. Okay, so let's go into SMART goals. A lot of you probably have heard about them. SMART is an acronym. And it means specific, measurable, attainable, reason, fulfilling, and time. So Jim Rohn says, and I think I had this quote last time, we become the average of the 5 people we hang out the most. Are people around you setting goals? Are they measurable? Do you even know what they are? So goal setting is the specific measures in your plan to make sure you accomplish your vision. So these goals are to track your progress and achievement in time. So let's look at specific. So what we want to do is identify exactly what you're aiming to achieve in the next 30 days. And usually when you join this business, it's build for bronze as our goal. And there's really good training in Dr. Aaron Pollinger's The Freedom Community Facebook group on how to do that step by step. The next one is measurable. So we want to measure something. So enrolling 4 affiliates in the next 30 days is something that's measurable. Earning $1,500 in my first 30 days is measurable. A is for attainable. It's good to have goals that are attainable. I like to put them in 3 categories. Attainable as minimum, realistic, and dreamlike. So for instance, if you want to recruit 4 affiliates in 30 days, that's a minimum. Let's say 2. 2 would be minimum. Realistic could be 4 and 8 could be dreamlike. So for your first 30 days, you could set minimum, realistic, and dreamlike. Now, realistic. You want to be realistic, but that's different for everybody. So assess how much time you're going to spend on this each week and then kind of work backwards. I think that would be super helpful on how to come up with something that's realistic for you. And timely. You have to put a specific amount of time on this goal. For this exercise, I put 30 days, but it's also good to have longer time frames as well. And if you're writing these out, which I recommend, add an affirmative statement to your goal setting. Something really positive. It really helps. So you'll see that you can have 90-day goals, 6-month, 9-month, 12-month goals. I really like having the distinction of the time frame. If you are working with your upline, your affiliate, have your mentor or someone else walk through your quarterly goals, and then you're able to break these goals down into weekly actions. It's all about preparing and planning. So rank advancement. So professionals, and we talked about that, instead of being an amateur, they look at the compensation plan to lead your team through rank advancement. So who is a list of people that you'll call that will help you get through rank advancement? So January through June, the first 6 months of the year, is when most people are looking for a business to get involved in. So again, this is something to be thinking about. Skills to win. So 4 skills to win. Effective communication, learn to be a great presenter, learn how to communicate the product, and explain the compensation plan. It's really important to know the heart of the people in the room when you're presenting. Um, as far as communicating product, now I want you to know enough to be the expert, but I don't want you to get stuck in expert land. Because remember what I said earlier in the earlier presentation, I think presentation number 2, training number 2, is that you you don't want to, how you enroll someone is how they're going to enroll someone. So if you know too much, they might feel like they can't do it. So you want something duplicatable. And as far as explaining the compensation plan, know enough in the phrases to, to bait the hook to catch the fish, but really understand enough to what is their goal? What do they want? And if it is financial health more than physical health right now, then you're going to want to figure out what aspect in the compensation plan that you want to go a little bit deeper or expand on. All right, the art of recruiting. So notice I quote, put in quotes, art, because you are an artist. In some ways, this is a healing art. Letter A, become a master of recruiting. So this is the thing. Everyone is looking for a group, a tribe, a place to belong. It doesn't matter how you join. It's how you continue to walk through this process. Now, we're all about communicating. So 50% the comp plan, 50% the product. You're not signing someone up, you're partnering. Okay? So become a master of recruiting because you can change your whole life by recruiting. Now, let's see, what did I write? Lifeblood of your business, never stop. So it's kind of like the bloodline is recruiting, enrolling, having these conversations, sharing the presentation. The process will eventually become easy when you open up to the process. When you're sharing the presentation, when you're asking questions and getting to authentically know someone and connect with them, find out what this person wants. What's the vision for their life? And then you want to paint a picture and reflect that vision back to them so they can see it and feel it for themselves. And, the last one is, what does selling your program look like? I mean, we are Prime My Body. We are changing the world. We are a group of amazing people. And in fact, we have light in a bottle. We are changing the course and trajectory of the planet. So if you are, and then fill in the blanks, right? So you want to paint a picture for your vision as well, okay? That's super important. So what is your vision? Okay, so your vision moves people into action, not your paycheck. Your paycheck doesn't move people into action, it's your vision. It's important to know your affiliate's vision. I mentioned this before, I think in training number 1. Why don't you resonate in someone else's passion sometimes? C, get them tied to the vision, mission, and cause. Now remember, 90% on mission and vision and 10% on cause. Letter D, it isn't the product. The mission has to be attainable. I've said this before, a product won't keep you here. This is way more than a product. The oil is a vehicle for your vision. Remember that. That's important. Remember that. Write that down. Say it. Grow their business. That's how you're going to support yourself, is by growing someone else's business. And do you have your travel schedule in place? Because when you do, it shows your people that your passion is there. That's huge. So JT has the hashtag all in. He talked about the all-in mindset during the 4 seasons of network marketing. Think about this. There are things that are in people's bodies. Disease, hopelessness, unworthiness, spiritual bankruptcy, disconnection. Unless you know who you are, you can't tap into your creator. So your presentation is going to evolve from reading facts to reading energy. I mean, think about this. You might have 6 affiliates and 1 guest in your room when you're giving a presentation, but you never know what you will say that will ignite someone to the next rank. It should never matter what level they are in your organization. You want to treat them all like they're number one to you. So, all in, first 90 days, it's like a sprint. Then you do second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So, I mean, during a 90-day run, it's a pace, right? So you're recruiting, you're doing launch calls, you're setting up weekly meetings, welcome calls, three-way calls, validation calls. You're letting people know you're promoting regional, national events. You're qualifying for promos, rank advancement. You're pushing your team through the ranks. So this is just the way that network marketing works and the seasons of them. You know, I've said this before, and you know this is true. Life is defined by feelings. There's the neuroscience of buying, it's based on emotion. Network marketing, it really helps change people's lives. Prime My Body is helping people feel better, it's helping people get healthier. What do people want? They want to be around people who are in their bodies. People are evaluating you just as much as the business. Some of you present the business with only the products. Now, I want you to present a healthy balance of what we're doing, the wholesome of who we are, and the products. And that's really the best way. Make people feel like they are number one to you. That means being present, not on your phone, active listening, reflecting back what you heard. You got to have heart. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. And remember what I had you do in leadership training number 1. What is your story? Have you crafted it? Turn your mess into messages. Now, I want you to decide right now that you are a yes to yourself, a yes to this oil, a yes to this business, this mission, this tribe. And I want you to decide to show up every day for yourself. And if you do, I'm going to show up. Sydney's going to show up. Erin's going to show up. Paul, Austin, JT, all of the people that are here in our tribe, they're going to show up for you. But you got to show up and you got to say yes first. All right, everybody, that's the wrap for this training. I hope that you enjoyed this series. And again, I'll be rolling out some other stuff, but this was the wrap up for what was downloaded in Mexico. And I'm just, again, super grateful to be a part of this tribe, a part of this mission, and that we are building a community that feels like an extended family. So I hope you're well, many blessings, and we will connect soon. Bye for now.